All right, deep divers. Get ready for a deep dive you might not see coming. It's all about money.
Money.
Yeah, but, like, with a bit of a twist.
Oh.
We're diving into a devotional, believe it or not.
A devotional.
Yeah, and it's all about managing your money, specifically for evangelical Christians.
Oh, interesting.
Now, before you think, nope, not for me, I get it. But trust me, there's some seriously smart stuff here. Anyone can use it no matter what you believe or where you come from.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Plus, it was originally written in French, so this is like your exclusive sneak peek, translated just for you.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm intrigued.
So this devotional, it mixes faith with actual money advice. It's really interesting how it all comes together.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, get your finances straight, but also pray about it.
Exactly. It's like pray and budget, but that's what makes this so unique. Like, one big idea is generational blessing. Basically, how what you do with your money now affects your kids, grandkids, even further down the line.
Oh, wow. I like that.
It ties into Proverbs 3.16, which says, and this is from the Simmer translation, wisdom offers you, in her right hand, a long life, and in her left hand, wealth and honor. So I'm curious, when you think about your own money goals, does this idea of like a ripple effect matter to you?
It really makes you think beyond just yourself, doesn't it? Like, imagine giving your family that security, not just now, but for generations.
Right. Building something that lasts. That's powerful. And it reminds me of another thing the devotional talks about, abundant living.
Ah, yes.
But hold on, we're not just talking yachts and private islands here. Although, hey, no judgment if that's your dream. It actually goes back to 2 Corinthians 9.8. It says that God can provide everything you need and help you do good for others.
So enough for yourself and
What?
enough to give back.
Exactly. That feels pretty abundant to me.
It does. And here's where it gets sharpy.
Yeah.
The devotional warns against getting too obsessed with money. It actually says, this is a direct quote, all those who love money always end up worshiping it. Strong words.
Wow, yeah. So it's like building multiple income streams, that's not about being greedy, right?
No, it's more about building a life with purpose and freedom. Not, I want more, but I want to make a difference, follow my passions, and be secure. Big difference.
It is. It makes me think of that question, how much is enough? Because the devotional brings up Luke 12:1, where it says, a man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions.
Right. It's not about the number in your bank account. It's more about what's your relationship with money. What can it help you do?
Totally. It's about finding that balance, being financially secure enough to live a good life, but not becoming like a slave to chasing money.
Exactly. And, that leads perfectly into the next thing the devotional brings up, stress management.
Oh, yeah, because let's be real. Money worries can be the worst.
Oh, tell me about it.
You know those nights staring at bills, wondering how it's all going to work? We've all been there. But the devotional actually suggests some pretty down-to-earth ways to handle that stress.
Oh.
It talks about making time for family, doing things you enjoy, basically anything that helps you relax and recharge.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It even suggests reading this article called The 5 Reservoirs by Elaine Stamp, which focuses on getting advice from someone who's further along spiritually. We'll put a link in the show notes for everyone.
Oh, that's a great idea.
But I'm curious, from your perspective, if we don't take care of ourselves, our well-being, how does that mess with our money decisions?
When you're stressed, you don't think clearly. You make impulsive choices. You might spend too much just to feel better, or even avoid dealing with money altogether, which just makes things worse later on.
It's like trying to drive a car with a blurry windshield.
Exactly. You can't see where you're going.
Perfect analogy. And I'm glad you brought that up because, thankfully, the devotional doesn't just say, don't stress. It tells us to do something about it. It's like a call to action about having different ways to earn money.
It's like a pep talk. Hey, there's more than just the 9-to-5 grind. Try side hustles, tap into your creativity, build something new. And it lists what you need to make it work in this new world. Time, ideas, some tech skills, maybe even English if you want to go global.
Less scrolling, more seeking. It's funny. It's like this ancient wisdom rooted in faith is talking about the stuff we struggle with today.
It is. It's like it knew how important those digital skills and global communication are becoming.
Right. It's like a heads up for anyone feeling stuck in the old ways. And speaking of old ways, you won't believe this, the devotional brings up the virtuous woman from Proverbs 31.
Really?
Yeah. You wouldn't think a story from, like, forever ago would have anything to do with money today, but it's actually full of insights.
Wow. That's surprising.
It's not about the money itself. It's about how she thinks. So let's look at what she does. It starts with she selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. The devotional says this is about using what you're good at to make money. So what are you good at? What talents do you have that people would pay for?
I like that. We all have something to offer. It's finding those strengths, getting better at them, and then figuring out how to create value with them.
Exactly. And then there's she brings her food from afar, which the devotional says is about seeing opportunities. She saw a need and she found a way to fill it, even if it meant going the extra mile. So what needs do you see around you? What's missing that you could provide with your skills and resources?
That's about being observant, resourceful, not afraid to try something new, seeing the possibilities that others miss.
Love it. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting. It says she considers a field and buys it. The devotional says this is about investing wisely.
Smart.
But it's not just about stocks and bonds, right? It's about investing in yourself, your education, your relationships, things that become more valuable over time. So where can you invest for the future? What can you plant today that'll grow into something amazing later on?
We often think of investment as just money, but it's so much more than that. It's about building a good life, not just focusing on material wealth.
So true. And then it says, out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. This is about making those investments grow. So how can you take what you have, whether it's skills, knowledge, connections, and make it multiply?
It's about taking action, putting in the work, being patient.
And it's not just about getting more for ourselves, right? Because it goes on to say her lamp does not go out at night, and she opens her arms to the poor. True abundance includes being generous.
Absolutely. It's recognizing that your success isn't just about you. It's about how you can use it to make things better for others.
It's about finding that purpose, that driving force behind your financial journey. And you know what? This ties in perfectly with what the devotional calls Key Prayers 17. We won't go through them all, but some really stand out.
Oh, I'm curious.
One is for a heart that triumphs over situations. Perfect for when money's tight, right? Then there's one for courage to persevere until victory, which is about staying focused on your goals, even when it's tough. And of course, there's one for supernatural favor, which is about opportunity and abundance coming your way. So what do you think? How important are mindset and resilience for reaching your financial goals?
It's amazing how much our thoughts affect what happens in our lives. When you approach money with hope and determination, you're more likely to find solutions, overcome obstacles, and create the life you want.
It's not just about numbers and spreadsheets. It's about having that inner strength, that belief in yourself.
Right, exactly. And that's where this blend of faith and practicality really shines. It's about taking real steps to manage your money, but also tapping into a deeper sense of purpose and believing you can create a better life.
So wow, we've covered a lot. From generational blessings to stress, making more money, and even finding wisdom in ancient stories. And honestly, this is just the beginning.
It's been fascinating. We've explored some really powerful ideas and practical strategies for building a better financial future.
So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll keep unraveling the wisdom packed into this unique devotional.
Can't wait. You know what really strikes me about this devotional? It's how it brings together practical advice with these deep spiritual ideas about money. Really makes you think differently.
Doesn't it? It's like, here's how to budget, but also remember what really matters. And this next part, it really shows that. The devotional ends with this strong message, urging readers to engage in the good fight in every area of life, your faith, family, money, future, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, good fight. That's powerful imagery.
Right. It's like saying, don't just sit back and watch life happen. Get in there and fight for what you believe in, for the future you want.
It's like we're all financial warriors. But what does that actually look like day to day? What can our listener actually do to fight for their financial well-being?
Yeah, good question.
I think it starts with taking charge of your money. Learn about it. Make a budget that really works for you. Keep track of where it's going. Don't just let it slip away.
Be proactive, right? Yeah. Make informed choices. It's like you're writing your own story instead of just letting things happen to you.
Exactly. And remember what we talked about before, having different ways to earn money. That's a big part of this fight.
Oh, definitely. It's like building a safety net. If one thing goes wrong, you've got others to fall back on.
Right. It gives you options, more stability, helps you get through those tough times. Because life does throw curveballs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But of course, the devotional doesn't just focus on the practical stuff, right? It also talks about the importance of faith and prayer in this fight.
Of course. It's about seeking guidance, trusting in something bigger than yourself, and believing you can overcome those challenges. You're not alone.
It's about tapping into that inner strength, And that reminds me, the devotional talks about developing a heart that triumphs over situations. Like, no matter what happens with your money, you can rise above it. But how do we get that kind of resilience? How do we not crumble under pressure? Especially when it comes to money, it can feel so personal.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's tough. I think maybe it starts with changing how we see challenges. Instead of thinking of them as failures, we can see them as chances to learn and grow.
Oh, I like that. Reframing it. Turn those failures into lessons.
Right, because honestly, sometimes those money setbacks can feel like they're going to knock us out.
Hmm.
So how do we avoid that? How do we build up our financial muscles?
Great question. I mean, what are some practical steps?
I think it takes knowledge, discipline, and good people around you.
Yeah.
You need to know how money works so you can make smart decisions. You need discipline to stick to your budget and not just buy whatever you want.
Mm.
And you need people who can support you, guide you, encourage you.
Like a financial workout buddy to keep you accountable and cheer you on.
Exactly. And remember the devotional talk about having a spiritual mentor. That fits in here perfectly. It's about getting advice from people who've been there, who face similar challenges and come out stronger.
You don't have to do it all alone. Learn from others' experiences.
Right. It's like a shortcut to wisdom. And, it's amazing how the devotional connects this back to that idea of generational blessing.
Yeah.
It's like the fight you're fighting, it's not just for you. It's for your kids, your grandkids.
Breaking those cycles, building a better future for your family.
Leaving a legacy. But while the devotional focuses on, your personal relationship with money and success, what do you think about the bigger picture? Wealth and poverty in society as a whole. How do we make things fairer for everyone?
It's a huge question, and honestly, I don't think there's one simple answer. It's complicated, right?
Absolutely. It needs a lot of different approaches, from addressing inequality in the system to helping people become more financially independent to creating a sense of responsibility for each other.
We can't just focus on ourselves. We have to think about the systems that are in place.
Right. We're all connected. What happens to one affects us all.
It's about working together to create a world where everyone has a real shot at success, no matter where they started.
And that's a fight worth having.
It is. So, wow, we've talked about taking action, building resilience, finding support, and even the big picture of wealth and poverty in society. And guess what? There's still more to unpack.
We've really dug into some powerful ideas and practical ways to fight for our financial well-being and create a brighter future.
So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll wrap it all up and leave you with some things to think about.
As we wrap up our look at this devotional, it's really striking how it pushes us to see money as more than just, numbers and budgets.
Right. Like, it's connected to our values. It's about using what we have to build a life that actually has meaning.
Not just managing money, but managing our legacy almost. What we choose today affects our families, our communities, years down the line.
It's powerful, right? That shift in perspective. Thinking long term, not just about what we want right now.
Playing the long game. Investing in our future, our kids' future. A future where everyone can be financially secure. And, that brings us right back to that idea of the good fight that the devotional talks about. It's not just about fighting for ourselves, though. It's about fighting for a world that's fair, where everyone has a chance to do well.
Using what we have, our resources, our talents, our voices, to create a world where poverty isn't a given, where everyone can build a good life.
A fight that takes courage, compassion, and a commitment to real change. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
And it's about understanding that our own financial journeys, they're connected to how everyone else is doing. We can't separate ourselves from that.
True abundance. It's not just about how much one person has, but about everyone having enough.
Collective prosperity, right? It's about building a world where everyone has what they need, where things are shared fairly, and everyone gets to reach their full potential.
That's a powerful vision.
So as we finish up this deep dive into this unique devotional, I want to leave you with a question. It challenges us to fight for our finances, to fight for a better future, and to fight for a more just and equitable world. What does that fight look like for you? What are you going to do to create a more prosperous and fulfilling life, not just for yourself, but for the people around you?
A question worth pondering. Because our answer can guide our choices, our actions, and ultimately, how we make a difference.
Thanks for joining us as we explored this fascinating intersection of faith and finances. We hope you've learned some valuable things and are feeling inspired to fight the good fight for yourselves and for a better future for everyone.